Hey yo, we is live, bruh. Well, look at that. It's my first live in a while. Yo, what's going on? This is why I'm trying to get my dreads back, but I don't know if they're gonna come back. Baby, I'm live. I ain't done no invite yet though. Okay, how do you actually like share the stream? Oh, okay. We live, baby. Baby. We is live. Well, you will never be muted in my heart. Again, I'm not using any streaming software right now. I am just enjoying the process of chilling out. Think to God be the glory, my freedom intact. Right. So, all right, ladies and gentle ladies, I have a pretty short stream, I guess, for today. Um, I guess there's a couple of things to address. Well, first of all, yeah, I've been kind of AFK, but not entirely. Um, um, right. So there's a couple of things that I need to do in the community, and not just in the community, but for uh, the team, the Origin Trail team. Of course, on this channel, you know that your boy really focuses quite heavily on Origin Trail technology, as you know, we're trying to do better things for humanity. Yeah, at least we trying something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, but at the same point in time, I guess a lot of people in crypto are also trying to, not to diminish the collective effort, I guess, but a lot of people in crypto, well, I guess I would say they haven't been very, most of crypto hasn't been very progressive in terms of achieving much. Uh Well, maybe that's not entirely true because we've seen so much regulation change and all of that as a result of the works that we've actually accomplished. So, like even things like the ETDB, and that is just relative to the UK, but like even in the US, they've started buying Bitcoin, setting up Bitcoin reserves per state, and states can invest up to like 5%, or I think it's 3%. And if like the USD value falls below a certain amount, they are allowed to keep buying Bitcoin. So states, government agencies, states, they're getting into crypto, right? Which is something pretty much right now we get to have our aha I told you so moment, kind of, because it's not completely mainstream yet, right? Like people know about it, but how many people have a wallet? How many people have used crypto to buy anything yet? Like it's not very common mainstream. So we still have quite a long way to go, right? And this is either going to result in some come take place as a result of some good or some really bad. So I think it's important to set some time aside to invest in the skill set in the space and at least even understand it for the future. So personally, hey, go away. What you doing, bruh? Yvonne, I don't really like this cat no more. Bruh, come here. Okay. Well, so yeah, it's important to set up some kind of skill set in the space. And for me, while I have a close connection with the Origin Trail team and believe in their vision and think it's admirable, of course, there are many ecosystems trying to do good things for the world. So you don't have to do good things here at Origin Trail only. But um, yeah, it's just a nice community for me, good people, good environment, just trying to do their best to accomplish something, and can't blame them, can't blame that. So I think I'm gonna be building here for quite some time on my own will. There's some things I want to accomplish professionally as well, like in terms of understanding certain levels of code. I've grown to enjoy code quite a bit. I do enjoy it. I think what I don't enjoy are the factors around code, which I guess every developer can say the same thing, right? So um So yeah, there's things I want to participate in, things I want to grow in, areas I want to see progress in, and it's just going to be a good thing to do that with a group of people, of like-minded individuals who see the same vision, or at least have the same passion to grow and learn and expand as well. So I don't see any reason for me to not uh, participate in Origin Trail as crypto becomes mainstream. So, and again, I just explained why I think crypto is not really mainstream yet. It's just known about, but it's not really used. Um, so, crypto still has a long way to go in terms of decentralized governance. We'll talk more about that in a bit as I talk to you all a bit more about like get more into Origin Trail side of my discussion. But there are also things that I kind of want to catch up on, like for example, um, I think one thing I that kind of put me off of crypto for a little bit is also the culture of crypto. Like people in crypto, I think that there was just a big shift in the crypto culture where the earlier builders, we were all like, yo, freedom and trying to like truly help each other and stuff like that. And then it kind of went into this thing, I guess, a kind of well, yeah, now it's just strictly about money and profit and whatever. And now, don't get me wrong, I understand that people need finances to live in life and to whatever, but I just don't see the same level of commitment in terms of to humanity. So it's good to be supporting a mission like Origin Trail and pushing that forward, or any other mission that really is trying to that is serious about executing upon helping humanity. So, ladies and gents, uh, with that perspective of crypto kind of like calming down, one thing I also, I guess, want to flesh out is I feel like in the next Bitcoin pump, because I don't think it's going to dump. I think Bitcoin is going to probably go upwards quite sharply sometime soon. If it does do that, I think that there's going to be quite a good time to get work done in crypto, because people's emotions will have swapped around, and then they're more like, hey, let's build, let's do this, let's do that. So on that um, cycle, on the cycle of crypto, I think it's just good to prepare for changes. Like you have to prepare for that season. You want to make sure that you're okay. You know that you can capitalize on that. So, and not even just capitalize on that, just participate. I think that's one of the main things. I just want to be around to participate and execute a vision. So I have a little bit of time to do that in my little zone. I have a little time to do that, to execute upon something, and that's what I'm going to do. I think I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, so it's going to be fun to see what has changed, what has grown, what execution looks like now. I'm learning a lot already, even as I'm being back about balancing certain things. So, hey, I guess I'm an old young man now, you know. So it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna have as much fun as possible, and of course, yes, I'm gonna be working on. Well, I was working on music, but listen, guys, one thing that started messing up for me is my this thing here. Let me show you, so that you guys don't think I'm lying or something. Uh, you see my Streamer X? This thing, it's not connecting uh any longer. So I literally can't stream, bruh. Pretty upset about it. I can't like use my mic. See this one. Hey, hello, hello. I can't use it. So just have a little bit of issues going on there. So once I figure that out, I should be able to do like certain proper kind of streams. So yeah, all right. So enough of that introduction stuff and blah blah blah. We talked for at least 30 minutes by now. I think I want to talk more about Origin Trail, some of the changes that's coming up now with Origin Trail Node. I think they have a new node system that's coming out that they mentioned. Um, I think right now the focus is we had some, I guess, a baby squabble about this 15x increase in a publishing factor towards, which is pretty much a change, I believe, to incentivize and builders in the network. Now, my personal perspective on it was, yeah, pretty much duh. Um, we need builders. It's something that the ecosystem is suffering from, and one of the biggest things. Not only do we need builders, right? We need a certain type of community um, spirit that fosters builders, right? Because the current community spirit would not does not foster builders; it fosters returns. It right, or discussions around that. Now, in the future, I think returns obviously will always be at this point of discussion, because the whole point of this ecosystem and everything that we're doing is to grow together and extract value from these concepts together, right? So money obviously is always going to be a factor, but I think that it's going to lead to people having discussions around the quality of a project being built on the DKG and the service it's offering. And also, is it a good service to the point where they're going to be publishing and really putting new knowledge into the ecosystem, right? So, in that regard, I don't think that the changes are negative, right? But I do understand that there were community nodes that are suffering from the change, which means they will not be able to extract as much value from the network as they previously could have. So, I mean, I guess I understand because some people have spent money upgrading equipment and entered contracts so that they can support this network, right? And these are people who has been here since day one. No, well, maybe not day one, but quite early. So I understand why they would not, why they would feel, um, I guess, slighted by such a change. But at the same point in time, what must be understood is if we're building an ecosystem of people who think, okay, I just have to launch my node and wait for some knowledge, who is going to be thinking about producing the knowledge? So yes, you could run your fancy network and your fancy nodes and have them hosting stuff, but at the end of the day, we need to fill the ecosystem with something of value, and then that is what brings value to the underlying network. So by filling our ecosystem with knowledge, we're able to bring more builders, more use cases to the DKG, and then it makes it more meaningful to have more nodes, right? So, I mean, it's like trying to scale the wrong thing first. If we try to scale the node count first, then we just have a big empty network. So, what's the point of that? What's the point of a big empty network? It's like having all the muscles in the world. Oh, dude, I'm so strong, but then you don't know how to fight. Okay, well, what's the point of all the muscles then? You might as well just lose weight and be Amos, right? Be famous Amos, be slimmus Amos, slimmus Amos, right? So, um, yeah, it just I can see either side of the argument and blah blah blah. That all makes sense to me. So I think leeway has to be understood that if publishing is going to increase in the network, then it's a benefit to all parties because the more publishing that goes forth, the more nodes the more knowledge in the ecosystem, which means it could be used for more things, right? And the more things it can be used for means the more nodes that will probably be um, popping up because people will be using the ecosystem for different things, different sorts of builders. So, and all things start centralized at first or semi centralized. And to be honest, I think it's a hot take, but personally, I think while there are many flavors of decentralization, and decentralization, I think, exists on a spectrum. Decentralization is not just one thing, because obviously, three nodes is more decentralized than one. And I'm willing to bet, oh, hello, Giga. I'm willing to bet that there's some sort of math somewhere that um, says you have to hit a certain amount of nodes before you can consider that network kind of alive or on its own or whatever. I'm sure there's math that I don't know about. But at the end of the day, three is more decentralized than one, and 10 is more decentralized than 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 five. Okay, but if all the power is on one node out of the 10, then you have a big network that is still centralized, or the opposite, right? Um, so my point is this. My point is fundamentally decentralization means something different to everybody, and then there's also technical specification for what decentralization is, and I think that the change of moving whatever the price factor, publishing factor, or whatever, like, to me, the network itself is still decentralized, no matter how small it gets, because it operates in the sense that at any point in time, a new builder can create a node. And to me, it's a focus on scaling builders rather than scaling nodes, right? Rather than scaling, you're scaling knowledge rather than scaling compute. If we scale compute, we don't benefit that much because compute is so cheap. And why anybody can then just go spin up a whole bunch of nodes on AWS and then call themselves decentralized, right? We can do that, right? But what we need is more knowledge in the network. So I totally think it's something that we should look into and see. Okay, well, it seems like a good path. And some people were saying, I feel like it destroys staking. I don't think staking is destroyed in this effort as either, because now people stake with conviction. You stake on a node that you think is going to be, first of all, publishing, and also um, offering a good service. So you can support them by increasing their stake on the node, but also you're being supported by their increased activity in the network. So I guess some people may try to all in on a particular node. So this is where we were getting into the discussion of should there be a cap or no cap, right? Now, on the topic of cap or no cap, and this is no cap. And if you're black, you know what no cap means. Yeah, it's not capping, right? Hey, BRX Captain, nice to see you, bro. So on the topic of cap and no cap, how I say is, first of all, if there is a cap, some people with large amounts of track may be locked out from delegation, right? So they may feel offended that they are not able to get in on some of the most active nodes. And after being supporting the project for so long, they feel like they deserve to be able to get their stake in, which is fair. But then that's if we take, so we say no cap, we have no cap, everybody stakes. Well, then you start creating super nodes, right? Because now everybody wants to stake on the most performant node only. And this one node has 500 million track in there. Y'all crazy bastards would do it. I know you would. I know you douchebags would do it. I know it. So no. I think we need to uncap. We need a cap. Now the amount on that cap, I'm not sure. Those are things to discuss. But of course, decentralization again is a spectrum, right? To you want enough builders on the network, and you also want enough yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's just it. Fundamentally, you want enough builders so that people can stake on their nodes and support builders, right? But you don't want to create super nodes in the sense that you have only one node doing with all the stake and only one node publishing all the doing all your publishing. So I'm wondering, like, if Trace Labs is going to have quite a bit of nodes, because like Humanitech is coming out, and SBB and all these different projects. It seems like they all have different nodes in the network. So you may be fighting in the future to get into an SBB node, because SBB may at one point be doing like hundreds of thousands of whatever per day. And then Humanitech might be doing hundreds of thousands of video content per day. Which one do you think is more important to you? Which one do you think pays out the best or would do perform better? Things like that, I think, is what people are trying to get into. BRX says No cap, Rambo, the best. You see what I'm saying? I told you these douchebags would do it. BRX is advocating for absolute degeneracy. He wants to douchebag the network. He wants to be a douchebag. So you see what I'm saying? We need a cap already. BRX is proving it right now. We need a cap, but the amount on that cap, I don't know where it lies or whatever. So yeah, actually, you know what's funny? Humanitech 69 is actually probably a good name for it, 69, because I rest my case. I say nothing further. Humanitech 69, when? I agree, BRX. The only cap is the amount of track you can get. I know what you want to do. You want to launch a single community node and have every single builder subscribe to your node. BRX is trying to game the system, guys. BRX is trying to scam us out. He's trying to scam us out, bro. But no, I mean, yeah, we have to have a cap of some sort. Like, there's no way. So, it's some sort of equilibrium has to take place between how much a node can give out relative to how much track is on it, and the weight of that node, and blah blah blah. If we're still doing neighborhoods and stuff like that. Wait, 1 second. I just started doing a little thing here. Anyway, so market cap, in my opinion, APR will do its work. Listen, bro, to be honest with you, I am more focused on the technical side of Origin Trail. What I really want to see is, above all else, developer experience. I don't care. Even staking, to me, I get it. I understand why people have it, is because people have tons of track and they want to put that track to use. But personally, I don't care, because okay, you put your track and you get some money back for doing nothing. Is that something that we should be putting a lot of development power into refining? Probably not, because then we're taking development power away. Every time we try to figure out on how to make staking better, that means we're taking time into figuring out how to make people make money from doing nothing, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It is fine, and it is also very powerful. It's a part of, bringing incentives into nodes and stuff like that. So I'm not saying staking is a worthless concept. What I'm saying is, at the current state of the DKG, it's in its current form, and what is required to get us to the next level of usability, community growth, and even builder incentivization, I think focusing on the things that affect them most is what matters. And personally, the DKG is not useful without useful knowledge, and you don't get useful knowledge without useful builders. And you don't get useful builders without incentivizing them to come. Right? So, how do you do that? Dev experience. A good product, a good use case, and dev experience. Right? That's what needs to be refined for Origin Trail, in my opinion. Now, bro, the only Fortune 500 company I have ran is the one in my toilet. So at the end of the day, I'm just a guy on the internet. So I don't know. The most knowledge I get is from my Heavenly Father when I pray. So I don't know if that is the cure for everything or whatever, but that's what I think the ecosystem is lacking from my experience as well. So refining that is great because we have a good use case already. We all know that. We have a good technology. We all know that. We know why it's useful. We understand why it's useful. So what's missing? Interacting with it, right? Origin Trail. So people like BRX and such, you folks should be the ones who are like there shouldn't be anything that's stopping you from spinning something up and doing something, or at least the very basics, right? And a part of that is understanding a good use case. A good use case. Now that is where we get into a very tricky discussion, which I'm not sure we should have right now. And also, I only plan to do a short stream. We've already been live for 31 minutes. Not many people, but hey, you know me. I never did this. Well, at one point I used to do it to try to get a bigger audience. But initially, when I did start the Trini Zone, there was like 10 people. I only had 10 subscribers. So it would be great to go back to that feeling of just building, man. You're just building. I remember just having a great time building, and that's what I'm gonna do. Nothing's gonna stop me from building. That's what a builder does. A builder needs to build. That's how you survive and thrive. So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more of these. Like, I just need to, as I showed you guys, I can't really use my main equipment because it's all broken. Because of this one box, so I think it's like $300. I think I have to find a way to get it replaced. Maybe I should put up a donation link and see if I could help you. You guys can help me replace it. But I'm trying to get like a new stream box, so that I can, uh, get back to using my mic and recording my songs and stuff like that. I need to get some things running, but I'm not. Yeah, if people want to donate and support, you can. Maybe I should. You know what I should? I should put up what it costs, and then if people give, they give. If not, I'm still gonna figure out a way to get it done. That's really how I feel right now. That's how I'm living my life. I'm going to rely on my God for everything. So, or at least I'm going to try. I'm trying my best. I have opportunities to do other things. So many things in my life I have opportunities to do right now. But I think that a strong focus on God that I have been doing in the last couple of weeks has led me down a certain path that it can only be understood if you've walked it. So I have no shame in those who don't understand. And they will judge, but they have not seen what I've seen. And they don't know what I know. So the most I can do is just say what is and do what needs to be done. So I live by faith, my faith in Jesus. The rest is noise. I have a family to take care of, and God has been taking care of us very well, just fine, with or without all of this. So I understand what is important. What truly is important is my faith in my God and the expression of that faith. And one of the best ways to do that is to suffer for my God. That is not a very known or understood concept, and it is foolishness to the unlearned. And it will always be foolishness to those who don't understand God. But I know the payment that comes from it is eternal. So there are things I wish to accomplish in this life, hopefully for the betterment of all of us. And I think that this community, Origin Trail, um, you builders, this grouping of people in this time it would be a great place to get certain things started for my life. So we go onwards, my friends. We build until we cannot build anymore, and then we build some more. Yes, that's the only way. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Give up? I mean, if you give up, you can. But if you enjoy building, your payment is inside of you. It is. And if you're alive and you have a child and you have families and kids and all of those things that God told you to look after, you are well paid. You are rich. You're very rich. But the world doesn't tell you that. Right? They tell you you need something else, but you don't need anything else, honestly. You really don't. I've never been happier, never been more satisfied, never been more excited about tomorrow. Never been more, I see my son, I see my wife, I see my family, and it's the best thing ever. Okay? Nothing can trade that. And what my the word of God talks about that. The importance of family, right? How these things are truly food for your soul. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. That stuff is garbage. And to be honest with you, the more money I had anyway, is the more stress in terms of, okay, who's your real friend? Who's not your real friend? And who's this and who's that? And like, bro, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? I don't that how much money, bro? That stuff just keeps you back. It keeps you bound. When you have something to do for God, you just do it. You do it without restraint, and you pray that God will supply the rest on the way. And that's how I've lived my whole life. If you guys remember, Trini Zone and all that, bro, I was doing nothing. I just started from nothing. I had no plan, no execution. I just relied on God. And I said, yo, wherever this goes, you take it and we get there. And when we get there, we get there. All I didn't even know how my channel started getting all this attention. And honestly, had I kept pouring out in the same way I was before, I would have been even bigger, right? But I don't think that path is something I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on just Origin Trail. I could have gone in all sorts of directions. I could have gone in many directions. But I think God had something for me to learn here. So it was just right. Hey, what's going on, Robin? I see you didn't come just in time. You come for the stream to end. The stream going on close off now. So we just talked about Trini Zone, talked about Origin Trail, talk about God a little bit too, talk about crypto, many things, many things. But fundamentally, the plan is that I'm back in action, and we're going to be executing on a couple of things here, right? Um, and it's regardless of what other people are doing, because people will look and they will copy, they will steal, and that's what people do. I don't care, right? Life is such that one must build, right? One must work, and work is a part of God's plan as well. So I'm going to be working, but I'll be working for God. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is roughly we've been streaming for 39 minutes. So there's a couple things I want you all to look forward to, right? We're definitely going to be doing a lot more of these kind of streams, because I remember in the older days when I used to stream, I would just come on, and however, y'all see I ain't even come here nothing. Y'all seeing me as who I am, Amos. This is Amos, right? I don't have my hair combed. I ain't looking too sexy. This is real, right? And this is just, bro, we just regular people out here living life, like just a regular dude, right? So I have some stuff I want to build at Origin Trail. We're gonna build it, and we just gonna live our life and follow the path that God leads us on, The rest, we'll figure it out as we get there. So stay tuned. More podcasts, more streams, especially for the podcast. So the Origin Trail, as it relates to the Origin Trail community stuff, right? One thing we need to do is work on our Origin Trail, our morale in the community. Like we're everywhere. And I think we're everywhere because we don't have something to pull us together week by week. So Trini Zone every week, we'll be partnering up with OTC, which is the Origin Trail Community Hub. And what's taking place is we're going to be doing podcasts. We have live streams, podcasts, builder reviews, all of these things. Quite, if you, I think what's going to happen is OTC and Trini Zone is kind of going to turn into something like Kusa Marian, if you know Kusa Marian, but for Origin Trail. And I think that's something good. That's something good to introduce to the community to get us all in sync in one arena. And I'll be working with Bob and BRX and all the greats, all the legends in the Origin Trade community to execute upon this. I think that the current state of community is in its state because people don't really understand these things are cyclical, right? So a lot of the complaints we see right now, we've heard before, and a lot of the turnaround when prices start to go up, we've seen before as well, right? So it's what you're here for. Are you here for the price pumps, the price gains, it's money, or are you here to just build? Now, if you're here to build, there's a lot of room for that, right? There's a lot of growth for that. There's a lot of opportunity if you want to take that upon yourself. And that is something I want to take upon myself. That's my challenge between me and God. And I don't, the less money I could get to start this challenge, the better is how I view it. The more money I get, the worse it is for me to start. Right? I trust in my God. So that is something I want to do here. Build here with God. And I think that we can turn things around quite easily if we all understand what we're working towards. So we need to sync up in the Origin Trail community. So look forward to that. Be doing some of that with BRX. I already spoke with Bob. Pretty much, to be honest with you, that has been agreed upon for like probably 6 weeks. And I wouldn't even say it's me. I would thank BRX because BRX is really the one who has been trying to like pull the community in terms of, yo, Amos, you need to come stream. Oh, Amos, when podcast, Amos, when, it's really BRX and Bob who's been pushing and pulling for that. So I would thank them for that. But of course, in terms of execution, you have to have famous Amos, right? So we working together now to get that done. And as a community, even for this little bit of time that I'll be here, we'll just be having a good time. Even if Origin Trail does not become a top million project or whatever, right? They're making $4 billion a year or whatever. I don't care. Fundamentally, well, for some of you, you may care about your wallets a bit more than me. So I do understand that I offer a certain level of not caring about money. But for those of you that do care, there's obviously those investments like Humanitech and whatever. But then there should be a whole grouping of other people who just want to do some stuff. Like, people who just want to build something nice and leave that for humanity and whatever, man. Like they don't want to do, So and I feel like I'm in that category. I want to work hard for humanity. And yes, okay, yeah. So I know, you see, there's those who are tired, right? There are people who has been invested in crypto for like 6 years, 7 years, right? And they're just tired and they're looking to like pay off and just relax. So for those people, I'm sympathetic towards as well, because the initial crypto vision, it was different than what it has become now. So I feel sympathetic towards those people who are tired, you've invested, and not in Origin Trade, I mean like in crypto in general, and you're just tired, right? I see that. But for me personally, I've always had the perspective of, well, for now I'm young. I'm not even 32 yet, right? So I am in a position where I can kind of like just sit back and be comfortable and just live a regular life, right? I can do that right now. I wouldn't be rich, I'm not. And bro, do I look rich? I ain't rich, right? I ain't rich, but I can take care of myself. So at the end of the day, with or without any of this, you would be okay. I would be okay. So that's how I view life. Some people need their money to validate them. Some people need to have like large bank accounts to make them feel good. Um, the larger my bank account got, the worse I felt in certain situations. Now, in other things, it made other things very nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It is nice to have a bag. But at other times, it does makes things quite difficult. So there's a balance, right? Take care of your family. Um, what? Oh, right. I gotta open this for my wife because she hurt her hand. You want to show them your hand? Show them your finger, babe. Come on, just put two fingers here. Just put the two fingers. Y'all see? She almost lost them, guys. I was so scared. What? They saw your finger. Peace. She's doing this now. Peace. She's saying peace out now. But first of all, that's the only thing you can do with them fingers. That's the only thing you can do with them fingers. Yeah, bro. She almost lost both fingers yesterday. So we had to rush her to the ER and all that. It was crazy. Blood everywhere. In fact, give me 1 second. I think there's still blood on my son's What? Oh, okay, dang. I guess she don't want me to show y'all. There's blood on my son's porta potty. She mad. I'm gonna tell them there's blood. You bring the porta potty. She not bringing it. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so uh BRX said my bank is for more my mortgage and debt inserts more. 31. I'm turning 35. Well, bro, listen. That means you've been here since for Origin Trail since you were 20 something, like 29, 20, 28 about, or maybe even or just 30. But yeah, so I'm still young. So yeah, I'm still gonna be building for a little bit, and I only have one child, one son. So I think I have a bit of time before we go for number two. So in that space in between there, we agreed that I have some time to build and some time to work with y'all. So let's see where it goes, and let's commit to a good path. So I should even have another stream this week if I can get this thing fixed by then. If not, we'll probably have to do the next live stream next week. So anyway, this was just a short stream where I'm just saying hi to you guys, telling you guys that we're back. Track First is also going to be back with some interesting stuff there. So I'm excited to at least show that some of the admins already know about that stuff though. So yeah, listen, we'll stay in touch. Shoot me any messages that y'all have for ideas or things you want to discuss. We discussed a little bit about the network and all that, but there's obviously more things we have to go into detail in the podcast, right? So we'll touch all those topics, but for now, stay beautiful, people, and let's sync up. All right, check out the chat. Don't forget to uh check out join the chat with Telegram, and also be sure to support the Origin Trail, the OTC stream. That's Origin Trail Community Hub, right? So yes, and shout out to BRX for pulling us together. All right, have a good one, guys. Love you all. Bye. If I could do that. Oh, and if you play League of Legends, add me up. I don't play during the week anymore, but I do have a weekend policy for gaming. So anyone that's playing League of Legends, feel free to add me up and we can game on the weekends. That's from Fridays to Sundays. All right. Have a good one, guys. Let's get on.